The happiest day of my life became the most painful. While everyone else was celebrating their graduation, my own father stood up in front of hundreds of people, pointed at me, and laughed. "This degree is probably fake." Then he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "You're useless, Ethan. You'll never become anything." The crowd went silent. Some people looked away. Others whispered. And I stood there wearing my graduation gown, trying not to cry. 5 years later, that same man walked into my office asking me for a job. But before I tell you what happened, my name is Ethan Brooks, and this is how my own father became the biggest regret of his own life. Graduation day was supposed to be unforgettable. My mother was smiling with tears in her eyes. My classmates were taking pictures with their families. Parents were hugging their children. I believed my father had finally come because he was proud of me. I was wrong. The moment my name was announced and I walked across the stage, he started clapping sarcastically. As soon as the ceremony ended, he spoke loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Congratulations on your fake degree." People stopped talking. I froze. He laughed again. "A business degree? Ethan couldn't even fix a lawnmower. Who would hire someone like him?" A few people looked embarrassed. Others pretended they hadn't heard, but everyone heard. Then came the sentence I have never forgotten. "You're useless. You'll never succeed." Those words hit harder than anything I'd ever experienced. I looked at my mother. She wanted to defend me. But years of living with him had taught her to stay quiet. That night, I packed one backpack, I left home with less than $400, and I made myself one promise. I would never waste my life trying to prove him wrong. I would build a life so successful that one day, the truth would speak for itself. When I left home, I had no plan, just one backpack, a business degree, and $400 in my bank account. Austin wasn't cheap. For the first few weeks, I slept on an old couch in my college friend Noah Carter's tiny apartment. I applied for every job I could find. Some companies rejected me without even calling. Others told me I didn't have enough experience. Each rejection reminded me of my father's voice. "You're useless." There were nights when I almost believed him, but every morning, I got up and applied again. Finally, a small software company gave me a chance. The pay wasn't great, the hours were long, but I worked harder than anyone else. I arrived before everyone. I stayed after everyone left. I volunteered for projects no one wanted. Within a year, my manager, Sarah Mitchell, noticed my work ethic. She said something I'd never heard from my own father. "Ethan, you're one of the most reliable people on this team." Those words changed everything. She promoted me to project coordinator. For the first time in my life, someone believed in me. I kept learning, taking online courses at night, and improving my leadership skills. 3 years later, another company offered me a position as an operations manager, with double the salary. I accepted. I bought my first home, paid off all my student loans, and surprised my mother with a brand new car. She cried when she saw it. "I always knew you could do it," she whispered. But one person never called. My father. Not to congratulate me, not to apologize, not even to ask how I was doing. Then, 5 years after that graduation ceremony, everything changed. One Monday morning, my assistant knocked on my office door. "Mr. Brooks, there's someone here asking to see you." I looked up. "Who is it?" She hesitated before answering. "He says he's your father." I slowly stood up. The man who once called me useless was waiting outside my office, and he looked nothing like the confident man who had mocked me on graduation day. I walked toward the reception area. For a moment, I barely recognized him. His expensive suits were gone. His shoulders were slumped. His hair had turned gray. The man who once laughed at me couldn't even look me in the eyes. He stood up slowly. "Ethan," he said quietly. I nodded. "What are you doing here?" He took a deep breath. I need your help." Those were words I never thought I'd hear. We sat down in a private meeting room. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, he broke the silence. "I lost my job 2 years ago. Then I invested everything in a business with a friend. The business failed, and I lost almost all my savings." He stared at the floor. "No one is willing to hire me now." Then he looked at me with tears in his eyes. "Someone told me you're one of the executives here. I was hoping maybe you could give me a job." The room became completely silent. Suddenly, I remembered graduation day. "Your degree is fake. You're useless." You'll never become anything." Every word echoed in my mind. He noticed the expression on my face. His voice trembled. "Ethan, I know I don't deserve your kindness. I was a terrible father. I spent years trying to make you feel small because I was afraid you'd become more successful than me." Those words shocked me. He wasn't angry anymore. He wasn't proud anymore. For the first time in my life, he admitted the truth. Tears rolled down his face. "I'm sorry. I should have been proud of you that day. Instead, I became the reason you left home." I looked at him for a long moment. 5 years ago, I had dreamed of this exact moment. But now, I had a decision to make. Would I treat him the way he treated me, or would I become the better man? I looked at my father for a long time. 5 years earlier, I would have given anything to hear him say, "I'm sorry." Now, the words didn't erase the pain, but they showed me something I had never seen before: regret. I took a deep breath and finally spoke. "Dad, I'll never forget what you said at my graduation. You didn't just embarrass me. You made me believe I would never be enough." He lowered his head. "I know. I've regretted that day every single day since." The room fell silent. Then I said something neither of us expected. "I'll help you." His eyes filled with tears. "But not because you deserve it. Because I refuse to become the kind of person who hurt me." I called my human resources director. After reviewing his experience, we offered him an entry-level administrative position. Not because he was my father, because he was willing to start over like everyone else. He accepted immediately. For the first time in his life, he earned his place instead of demanding it. Over the following months, he worked quietly. He arrived early. He treated everyone with respect. And little by little, he became a different man. One evening, as we left the office together, he stopped me in the parking lot. "Ethan, I'm proud of you." Those were the words I'd waited years to hear. I smiled, not because I needed his approval anymore, but because I'd finally found peace. I had already proven my worth, not to my father, but to myself. Success isn't the best revenge. Healing is. If someone has ever told you that you're worthless, don't spend your life trying to prove them wrong. Spend it proving yourself right. Because sometimes, the people who doubt you the most become the ones who admire you the most. The best revenge isn't making them suffer, it's becoming someone they never believed you could be.